They are everywhere, in gas stations, grocery stores, and hospital gift shops, just to name a few places. Those revolving stands filled with books for people passing by needing a message of hope, of laughter, or inspiration. Martin Whitbread has been filling this need and these book stands since he was a young teenager. This year marked 35 years of selling books for Martin and his wife Janice, and recently distributors from across Western Canada gathered to celebrate with them at their warehouse in northern Saskatchewan. I had the opportunity to sit down with Martin and to learn what inspired this deep passion for books.
I first became a Christian believer when I was 15 years old. And one of the first things that happened, it was a teacher that led me to Christ. And so, of course, he introduced me to books such as Hal Lindsey's Late Great Planet Earth. I don't know if you remember that. And books like that really had an impact in my young Christian life. And so from that time on, I really already knew the power of books.
At the age of 17, while still in high school, Martin stumbled across Successful Living, a home-based company in North Battleford that distributed Christian books. After purchasing a stack of books one day, he blurted out to Trudy Ramsey, the local distributor.
I can see myself driving around the province in a van selling these books. And Trudy didn't miss a beat. She whipped out an application form, and quick as a flash, I was a Successful Living dealer. And she turned around, gave me a discount on the books that I just bought.
Within a couple hours, he had sold half the books to a friend and was back for more. A few weeks later, he went to a local youth retreat and set up a table to sell books to his fellow youth.
I ended up selling $200 worth of books that weekend, which for youth, in 1976, when books are priced at $1.50 each, I mean, you do the math. I sold a lot of books that weekend, but more importantly, I had the confirmation that I was doing exactly what God wanted me to do.
Not long after, Martin met his wife Janice, and together they established a large distribution center for their new company, Living Books, in the small community of Bordon, Saskatchewan. Janice knew she had married into the book business, but says she also fully embraced it for her own reasons.
What I really like doing is taking the books to people and talking to people about what they like and how it helps them and what's good. I love reading. My dad said that it was a good thing that Martin sold books because otherwise he'd never be able to support my habit.
Being located in a small rural community, Living Books has a unique approach to getting these books into the hands of their customers.
The concept was to take the books to where the people are. Now, when you think about it, Jesus' ministry on earth, he didn't simply go and rent an office at the local synagogue, did he? I mean, he went out to the marketplace. He went out to the wedding at Cana, right? He went out to where the people were and took his message with him.
Living Books has a team of distributors that get these books into homes across Western Canada, each one having an individual strategy for their own community. Jackie Zilkie has been selling Living Books materials for the past 15 years in her community of Console, Saskatchewan. It started with a search for positive resources for her own children, and then she noticed a growing need among her neighbors.
Our heart's desire is to put some good reading material in the hands of our community, and we're a farming community, and like things like this, you know, Farmer's Year, men's devotional type thing. When you're in a small community, you know everybody, and say, oh, I think they'll like that. And this is the one that their kid will need.
Glenda Lee started selling Living Books materials in her home more than 22 years ago, fueled by her own love of reading. Over the years, she says she found sharing the resources a natural part of her life.
This has always fit in well with my lifestyle and what I've been doing. I was a stay-at-home mom for many years, and I had a lot of people coming through my house, a lot of friends. I led Bible studies. I would sell books to those ladies, and though each book had such an impact on so many people.
It's no surprise that Glenda's daughter Danielle caught the book bug from her mother. She grew up helping her mother with open houses and is now a distributor herself.
Oh, I absolutely love reading. That's probably one of the big drives for, I love books, I love reading, I love telling people about books. So when I have friends come over and we start talking about books.
With the goal of Living Books to reach people exactly where they're at, Martin says that the hospital bookstores are an ideal place for them to place their materials. Martin makes his circuit to each of the stores, including the hospital gift shops, about once a month, with books carefully selected at the distribution center by his wife Janice for each rack.
We pack a pre-pack for every single store that we go to, tailored for that store, so that if you're going to take it to a hospital gift shop, you're not going to take the same books as you would if you're going to take it to the beach, or if you're going to take it to the grocery store or gas station.
You get a lot of people here, both staff and and clients that are in a place in their life where they're really looking for some of the types of reading material that we supply, and they really appreciate finding it here. A lot of staff work long hours and don't have a lot of chance to shop. A lot of people come in to visit people in the hospital, and they like some of the offerings that we have. You know, in many cases they'll buy something to go with the flowers. So it works out really good that way.
As Martin and Janice look ahead, they are working closely with their daughter Vanjie to keep up with changing technology, such as their online presence and Facebook communication. But amidst all these changes, they say that the core of their mission of pointing people to Christ through these resources will always remain.
I can't predict what the market is going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years. What are we going to be selling books? Are we going to be selling ebooks? And how are we going to do that? And what's going to look like? And all that kind of things. But I do know that good books are always going to be written. There always has to be somebody that tells somebody that, hey, this thing will help your need.
And for now, Martin says those familiar book racks aren't going anywhere.
People find our books all over the place, whether it's from a trusted friend in their small town or whether they're traveling and they see a book rack at a truck stop somewhere. What we hope when they find one of our books is that whatever need they have will be met in that book.
Natalie Faith for 100 Huntley Street.